I'm going to show you the first steps into CQG One or CQG Desktop, the main ways of using the software, the main ways of getting your widgets set and your pages set. At the moment, you're looking at the CQG One. All the features I'm showing right now is identical, so I'm not showing something that's specific to CQG One or to CQG Desktop. Everything I show works in both worlds. You get a URL from your broker or from the demo. You go to this URL, you log yourself in with a username and password provided by the FCM, and you will end up on some landing page on CQG. In my world, this is my day-to-day working page. I usually have a chart up, I have a quote board up with the markets I'm interested in watching it, I have my trading interface, usually on the right-hand side, and I have like account summaries and all these informations on the below. This is a page I set up personally for myself, but I want to show you today how to get to those pages. It doesn't need to look exactly like this one. You could alter the ways you're presenting this in your own style, of course. The most important piece in CQG is on the left-hand side, the control bar here. It divides in three sections. The first section is it has the pages, so you can create multiple pages, name them, and keep them in certain order that you have the most important pages you need on a day-to-day work on top. If you need more real estate, you can click here and see only like a top list, or you can see all of your pages here. The second section is where you can actually add widgets to the platform. We show you that in a minute. And the lower end is like your log off, you go flat, and your preferences for the platform. If you really care on real estate, I always press F11 on my keyboard. That's a normal like Windows browser-based function. So the browser goes to full screen. So I'm really using all of the real estate. I don't need the URL on top and the go back button. They don't help me anyways. So to start over with a blank page and to build your own page, we go to the more here, and here's the button to create your own new page. So I click here. I can create the page based on an existing page or on a preset. We're going to start with an empty page and just call it new for the test and click on OK. CQG tries to help you. With a black background now, you have all the different widgets here on the main real estate that you could potentially open. So maybe let's start just with a chart. So I can click here on chart, select the different chart types I want, and it would open a widget with whatever I have used last. So lucky enough, it comes up with something I'm only enabled on end of day data, so I'm going to change that quickly to something more useful. So this is, I typed in the symbol for mini S&P, so this is the mini S&P chart. We get to this later in more detail. Sorry for that interruption. If I want to add another widget or another chart to the same screen, there's two different ways doing that. I can use the plus sign here on top. If I hover the mouse over it, it already says add a new widget to it. So I click here on the plus. The system would ask me, what do you want to add? Let's say we want to add another chart, and let's say we want to have an area chart for a change. So we click on here, and we get this area chart up and running. So now these two widgets are using the full real estate of the platform, and you can basically switch between the two. But what we really wanted to see the both charts side by side. So I can hold the left mouse button on the tab here, and I can move the mouse around, and the system with the blue border gives me some ideas where could I drop it off. So I could have the two charts underneath each other, or I can again hold the left mouse button and move it to the side, have it maybe side by side, and maybe do it like this, like half screen. So you can really control the widgets you open by clicking on the plus and then moving them around. Or the other way, the second way of opening a widget, we'll do that with a quote spreadsheet now. It's on the control bar here on the side. I want to open a quote board, so I would go to quotes, and here's my different variety of quote boards I can use. I'm a big fan of the quote spreadsheet, so I usually use only this, but you can play around with the others as well, of course. So the quote spreadsheet opens, and it would ask me if I want to load a prepared list of futures, which I have. So I could click here, and it would already know the markets I'm interested in. But I can also say, okay, I want to do a new list, and then I can look for the different markets I want to have on that list. One of the big benefits of the desktop and CQG1 versions is you don't have to know the symbols from CQG in the first place. So of course, if I know that I want to use mini S&P and the symbol is EP, I can directly put it in. ENQ is NASDAQ, so I can put all the symbols in I'm interested in seeing, DSX for Euro stocks, DD for DAX. If I don't know the symbol for any of the markets I'm looking at, let's say, for example, gold, I could just type in the clear word gold that I'm looking for gold, and the system in this list would suggest things that might be relevant in that case. So here it suggests on the first is gold GCE, the gold future on the COMEX. So the moment I click there, it would put in the symbol in for me. I don't know the code for silver, so I would just type silver on the as a clear word, and again I get a couple of suggestions what it might be, and of course I'm looking for the one on Globex as well, so I put gold silver in. Again, if I know the symbols for crude oil and heating oil, I can just put them all in together in one row, and once I'm done I just click OK, and it would populate that quote spreadsheet with the markets I have. So again, I probably don't need two different charts. I would close the chart, I would keep the quote spreadsheet, I would keep the chart here side by side. So now from the quote spreadsheet, you could directly trade from here. So if I'm seeing, oh, there's something going on in Euro stocks today, so I can click on this Euro stocks, and I click the buy or sell button, and it would automatically open a trading interface for me. It kind of remembers what trading interface I used last. There's one difference in CQG Desktop to CQG1. Here I have the choice of the hybrid order ticket, which is really, really powerful. The DOM trader, which we don't have in desktop, but it's very similar to hybrid order ticket. The classical trading ticket or the slide trader. The thing is, it remembers what you have used last. So if we use the trading ticket and we close that and I go to a different market, to silver, want to buy silver, it remembers that we used the trading ticket before, and it comes up with a trading ticket. Instead of having that popping up all the time on my screen, I could also add a permanent trading ticket to the mix here. Again, two ways of doing that. I can click either, depending on the place where I want to put this, I can click here on the plus sign or here, or I can go down here to the list of all the trading relevant widgets. So I go here and I want to use the hybrid order ticket. Again, it splashes on the screen wherever I have been last with the mouse cursor, so it shares the space now with the quote spreadsheet, what I actually don't want in that case. So I want to have that separate. I hold the left mouse button again here on the sidebar and move it into separate windows. So this way, make that a little bit smaller. I want a little bit more real estate for the chart, so I can make the chart a little bit bigger and the quote spreadsheet a little bit smaller, and I have my three widgets side by side. The next section, which I find very, very useful, is of course I want to see my account information. It's like what is my account summary, what is my open positions, what is orders I have already in place, things like that. They're also under the trade side. So if I go again to the trade widgets, and here's more on top are more the placing order widgets. Here is like orders working, orders filled. Maybe let's start with the account summary. So again, I click here. It would put the account summary up here because that was the real estate I was working with. I usually move that information because usually it's more broad than vertical, so I usually move that down here. So again, holding the left mouse button, moving it to the bottom of the chart, and put it on this piece of real estate. So I have the chart, the quote board, the trading interface, and I have my additional account informations down here. Now the shortcut is, if I want to add more to this area of the screen, the shortcut is to use the add widget from here, from the plus. Then using that, it would place the next widget automatically into that real estate. So account summary, maybe interesting enough would be also on the trade side to see my open positions. So here's the widget called positions. Adding this into the same area, and maybe also, again, we go to trade, and maybe orders working could be interesting. So I would see my account summary by just clicking on these tabs here. I see my account summary, my positions, and my orders working on that real estate. If I click on the plus and trade, I can add more of these things like orders canceled, all orders all together. There's more things I could potentially add here. We also have an account summary in a graphical format, which looks very nice. And I can, like, by just dragging and drop, I can move those things around here. This is like the screen that looks more or less like my startup screen in the beginning. If I need more real estate and I'm kind of familiar with the sidebar, I can click on this little menu here on top. It says close sidebar, but in fact it doesn't actually close it, it just minimizes it. Instead of having like the full written name of everything, it still shows me the little graphic for the different topics in case I want to add something more to it. But I don't need all that real estate, so I have more space for the actual widgets I'm looking at for the charting, the quote spreadsheet, and so on. This is like a very, very quick run through, but just to give you an idea of how to place the widgets and how to move them around on the chart. And now it's up to you to add more charts to that real estate or to other places. If you want to get the sidebar background, just click on the double item, and then if you want to share your setup with a colleague, you create the setup and your colleague likes all the settings you have, you could actually click on the three dots here and you can share the page link. Create a link. This would create like a pretty cryptic URL, which is long-winded URL. You can copy that into an email, or you can send it. It will open your Outlook or whatever you have connected on Windows. You would send the email to your colleague, and if your colleague clicks on that link, he would automatically load the same kind of page you have created on his CQG desktop or CQG One. Little side note here, it only travels from production environment to production. So if you're like, I'm running a demo account at the moment, it wouldn't travel from demo to production. It only travels in its own world. This is a very quick run through. I don't want to get into too much details what you can do with the different things, with the charting, with the quote board, with the trading interface. We get into that on the next go round. Or on more details, you can always go down here to the little question mark, go to help, and you can either take an on-screen tour that is leading you to the platform, or from here you can directly go to the online help of CQG. Like if we click on search help here, you would end up on the help page for CQG desktop in that case. And if you have questions, let's say about charting, you can go to charting here, and you'll find more topics on details here on the charting side. And these little things are also small videos that you can follow along how they change timeframes and things like that.